Welcome back, YouTube. It's J-Bob, the video game slob, coming at you 1 week after the mega haul, 7,600, I don't know, too many dollars, almost $8,000 in the GOAT estate sale. Still working through. There are many piles I haven't filmed, which seems crazy because I'm releasing a video every day, and yet there's still many $200 piles. These items in the bag here came in the first wave of things I picked up, I think. So that really doesn't even have a dollar amount. And then some of this other stuff came on like later days and different things. So this is sort of all over the map stuff. I wish I had greater updates for you, but it's getting to be the end of the month here. Some of the early stuff, the cartridges from like that very first video, are up at the antique mall, and those have started to sell. I sold one thing online and one thing on Marketplace yesterday. So unfortunately, it took a long time to get all 1,000 items in my database, so I knew what I took in inventory. Of course, it takes some time to get things listed, so I'm doing that today. Stuff that just doesn't make sense to go into the showcase, stuff that isn't getting integrated into my collection. And so hopefully as videos go on, and I'm sure I will, I'll update you at where we are in the profit and loss statement on this whole ordeal. But it'll be a while, so hang tough, be patient. I work a full-time job, got a second job on top of that, and then wife and kids and things like that. So there you go. With that all said, I guess we could start out with the big stuff. There were a bunch of these signs. They're just plastic. I don't think they're official. And even if they weren't, somebody could probably just print this off. But for a couple bucks, it says Simpsons Bowling, and how cool is that? And it's from an arcade. We'll have to get some better tape on it or something like that. But I don't know. Is that well, maybe it is. I guess that's a serial number or a license number. So maybe this is legit art. I don't know. But it was just a couple of bucks, and I love The Simpsons, so I wanted it. And sometimes it was hard to do that at the sale, but you had to kind of do that. This looks new in the box. I don't know if it made it on the channel years ago, but I picked up a 3-pack of monitors like this for the Xbox, the original fat OG Xbox, that were all new in the package. Kept one for myself, sold one to a collector, and then sold one to my buddy who owned the video game store. And I think they all worked. I don't know. Mine's still sealed down in the basement and made a decent profit on them. I don't know how much this goes for. I think I paid 10, I think is what it was on the side of the box. I don't know. Well, the sticker apparently did not manage to stay on there, but I think that's what that was. This is my first PS2 screen. I've had a number of the PS1 screened PS1s. You don't see those anymore. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have sold those off. But never for the PS2. There you go. This was a $6 keyboard, of course. I didn't even know they made a Shark board or a USB keyboard specifically for the PS2. There you go. Original price tag, $20. And it looks like it still has its original plastic. I don't know if it was ever used or not. This is one that doesn't have a lot of value. I did look it up online just to see if it was something crazy. It's like $20. But to have like a $6 PS2 keyboard, I don't know. When am I going to find one cheaper? So this was $90 on day one. It was one of those things as I was walking to check out. I was like, wait, is that a sealed a Wavebird? And I didn't think much of it. And then my buddy's like, I bet that's worth a couple bucks. And sure enough, I think that's worth like $300 or so when we went on eBay. It's been a week since we looked that up. But yeah, so I was like, well, that's fortuitous. We'll take that. So hopefully that gets us a little ways back on all these things I keep saying I'm keeping. And I guess this isn't a really great bucket here, way to do this, but we'll start pulling these out. We got a little Viva Pinata Pocket Paradise. Metal Slug 7, which I love. I'm always amazed that this game is so cheap. But this one has a cool party trick. If I can here. It's got that outer sleeve, which is always great to have. But it's got this in it, which I did not know it had, which includes Blue Dragon. So it has this Blue Dragon disc inside there. So that's super cool. And I believe that with in that condition, it's like $100 item. So it's crazy expensive to have it complete like that. Elite Beat Agents is a really cool game. I have like an Elite Beat Agents license or card somewhere. That's pretty cool. I think these were all $10. So yeah, $10 for an open CTR, $10 for a sealed Crash Warped. That is an open Tomb Raider 3. But back to sealed stuff. What was the original price? It's almost faded out. $8 at Meijer for the Crash 2. And again, since these are greatest hits, the ones that are sealed, I don't know if have great value, but having things like Crash Bash, always good to have in a retail location. Because they're just games people want to collect or have the full sets for. I think that's $6 on the Ripto's Rage. And if you've never heard the story of why Ripto's Rage is called Ripto's Rage, I believe, and I hope I'm not butchering this, it's because Spyro in Japanese or kanji or whatever the right word is, I'm probably butchering that, looked like the word Ripto. So they adopted it and anglicized it. There we go. We got a sealed Smart As. There were 2 Smart As's in this collection. That one's sealed. I think the other was open. Who knows when and if I'll keep either of those. Killzone Mercenary, Tearaway. I'm always saying I need to collect more Vita games because I don't know. Maybe I have 50, maybe I have 100. I'm not sure. But there are just so many, and there are always more that you don't own. And there's even these, like, I don't say common ones, but ones that aren't like RPGs or for the limited runs or from the East Asia softs that got printed. These just don't come up. And I mean, I had a Vita back in the day when it was new. GameStop famously started paying $35 for PS2s, whether they worked or not. And at that time, that was a ton of money. And I had 20 or something of them. So I traded in like $600, $700 worth of broken PS2s to GameStop. And to answer your question, yes, that did get me banned from GameStop for like 6 months. They like suspended my account, and I used to yell at the manager. And then I got to know the manager, and now he comes into the game store that my buddy owns from time to time. So that's kind of a funny story. But yeah, he was like grilling me about why I had so many PS2s. And so, yeah, I bought a PS4, which was so cool at the time. And I think that was like, $100 or $200. And then by COVID, the price of PS4s had spiked. So I sold it for about as much as I paid for it. And for a long time, that PS4 ran PS View, because PlayStation, people forget, briefly had a streaming service, and we loved it because it was so much cheaper than cable. And cable television, for my younger viewers, if there are any, was a wire that came into your house that let you watch television before the internet was around. So anyway, that thing got a lot of use, sold it, and then of course now I've bought many PS4s this summer, in fall and spring now for $50. So I was very glad I sold that off, and now I have a Pro in the collection. But I got a white Vita then as well, and so I've been collecting Vita games for a long time. They just never showed up at GameStop used. The Zombrex edition of Dead Rising 2. Love the Dead Rising series, and this has a really cool steelbook inside. If you ever get a chance to buy one of those or play it, I certainly advise that you do. And so, like most things in life, you're like, I'm not buying that new 3DS XL. That thing's hideous, and it's not worth that much money. And there's no way I'd pay whatever it was when it came out. Maybe it was $300. Maybe it was $250. And then years later, everybody loves it, and you're like, okay, it's grown on me. It's pretty cool. I'll spend $350 on it. I haven't looked that up. I just took it on faith that that is probably an accurate value for a nice one with the box, and the price tag there comes off pretty easy on those. So there you go. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Sometimes we're idiots, and that's how it is. And I do have a kind of extensive 3DS console collection, so we'll add that to it. We got the 2 NES controllers. These are the official controllers with the Classic. They came for free, if I understood the way they rang this up, with the $30 NES Classics I bought. Those turned out to be pretty expensive. I think these are like $60, $80 each, something like that. They are not cheap. I just picked up a PlayStation TV, but I had ordered it before this massive haul came in, which is kind of cool. So now I finally own that way to play Vita games. But there we go, a little baseball game action, a little sealed Marvel superheroes that was once $6 on clearance at Target. Who doesn't remember those? The non-lenticular version, I don't even know if there's a difference anymore. Obviously, if you have the gold cart of Ocarina, there's a big difference. I don't know if it matters. That way, Paper Mario, super wrecked, but for 20 bucks, the game still plays, right? And you can still read the title on the cartridge, so that's all we care about, isn't it? Yeah, you can see back art, a little damaged, front art, heavily damaged, but inside, who cares? The disc still works, and it's Twisted Metal 4, and isn't that really the greatest prize in life, is to have a Twisted Metal 4 to play and have fun with. Sealed, Year of the Dragon there. Sealed, Gran Turismo 2, and if this was Black Label, boy, would that have been great, but crack in it, but still sealed, you know, for, what was this back in the day, $8, Final Fantasy VII. Super cool, very glad to have that. And Jason, did you cut the bleeding off? No, I spent $250 on this, and I still think this is ugly, is all get out. It's barely a design. But it's gold, and everything Zelda is gold, and I love gold. So, I'm an idiot, and so I spent $250 on that. You got me. We got Carnival games sealed for the Switch. And again, I don't know if a lot of these were worth the $10 I paid, especially because this one requires a download. But since they do, we're going to try to find new homes for those. Still have never played Tetris 99, so hopefully the servers are still up, and I can do that. This one I'll probably keep. I don't think I have a copy on the Switch. Super difficult, shoot 'em up. I like it, but boy, I would need to put a lot more hours into it to get good. Immortals Phoenix Rising. I know people like it. Might have to sell that off because I have it on other systems I care more about. We got the sealed Scott Pilgrim limited run. This is limited run, but obviously distribution was through Best Buy. Best Buy used to do a lot of distribution of limited run games, and that made people mad because they thought they had something rare, and then you could just get it on the shelf, and a lot of times those went out to clearance. So there you go, and I know I have that one. And a nice sealed Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Of course, none of the Mario and Sonics and Mario Rabbids or the Mario vs. Donkey Kongs ever tend to be good collector's items and have money. But for $10, I'm not passing on a sealed copy anytime soon. So here you go. Presented once again for your pleasure. Am I an idiot? Should I not have bought the very expensive 3DSs? Is it stupid to buy a game in that terrible a condition? Is spending $10 on Vita sports games, even if they're sealed, a bad idea? Did you know Metal Slug had the disc inside? There you go. YouTube, let me know in the comments. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.